Welcome, Randomizer fans. We are back with another Link to the Past Randomizer 2021 tournament race between Teto and Skipsy. I'm your commentator, Ben Creighton, joined in the commentation booth by Freddy. Say hi, Freddy.
Good morning, and/or afternoon. It's morning for me. How are you doing today, Ben?
Oh, it's a lovely morning. I've had my coffee, believe it or not. And I'm ready for another great race. These are two racers who are kind of new to me, but looking at the standings and the qualifiers, it looks like Tato's very much the favorite going into this race.
Yeah, this is a 2 versus a 3, so there's a lot of good people just generally overall throughout this run. I have actually heard of both of these players, but don't know a ton about either of them myself. I do believe this is Group B.
Yep, I do believe you're right, but the rankings are one thing, but rando gonna rando. Anything can and does happen, and you've got to be real good just to make it past qualifiers. So should be in for a good match today.
Indeed, looking forward to it.
And as always for this particular tournament, we are on hard item pool, standard start. We're going to be seeing that escape sequence. We are not going to be seeing any armor upgrades, butter swords, silver arrows, or hearts past 14, or the mirror shield. And it looks like we are off to the races.
Apparently, Uncle thinks they can beat it in an hour and a half, but let's see. Ooh, 10 bombs. Always a great start to find.
Yeah. Nice to have options, and very nice to not have to worry about farming bombs during the escape sequence. We're going to be able to get into the back, no problem.
Indeed. So this being the entire way for this tournament, we will be running a standard hard mode, as Ben mentioned before. So standard means we go through the escape sequence here before opening up the rest of the light world. Looks like we did get a quick map check from Teto here. It looks like red crystal Hera and blue crystals the other two. In addition, we will have randomized weapons. So the weapon we get from the uncle will be a weapon that we can get through the escape, but not necessarily a sword. In this case, we get a fire rod.
So yep, already based on that map check, we might be looking at a jet seed. That's what Uncle's predicting. We'll see, but all three of those pendants are going to be in the Dark World and assigned to what are typically longer dungeons.
Yep, not necessarily, but it's definitely runners prefer it when they see things like Turtle Rock and Mire being pendants. Unless, of course, something's stuck in there.
Yep, less likely to happen with Mire with only 2 items in there. A pendant Turtle Rock always has me raising my eyebrow just because between the 5 items in the dungeon proper plus Mimic Cave, there's so much that can be hiding in there.
Indeed. Looks like we're seeing some NMG strats from Skipsy doing some quick... oh, I forgot the name of it. Chat will have to help me on the name of that technique, but basically you, when you're holding either left or up, you can tap a different direction to cut off the animation. It'll gain you a couple frames as you're moving, basically. Pumping, yeah, that's the one.
Yep, that's one that you see, like you say, from a lot of NMG runners that are used to every little time save that they can get. A lot of folks who cut their teeth on Randomizer don't take the time to learn those fundamentals, and I'm guilty as charged when it comes to that.
Same here. Okay, looks like we got a shield out of Zelda's chest.
It's always interesting to see this very, very scripted escape sequence, to see the racers go head to head and just see on sheer execution who seems to have the advantage in the early game. Of course, you know, add 2 hours to that and none of it'll matter, but it all seems so important with Skipsy already a couple screens ahead.
Yeah, Teto mostly having issues with the green guard in the Zelda cell room. It looks like. In addition to, I think, Skipsy having a little bit better pumping. Kind of shows you how much that can gain over large amounts of time. So as we make our way to the back, are you hoping to find anything else in here, or you want to wait for Kakariko?
I'm always happy to see a stacked escape sequence, especially if we get something like boots. I know a lot of runners will do a water walk over to Ice Rod Cave through the water portal if they find those early boots. Just anything to give us that early bit of divergence versus a fairly rote start. And there's a sword in Dark Cross.
Yeah. It's always nice having that early sword. Even if it's not on the uncle, it can definitely still show up in the rest of the escape.
Yep, and it definitely makes life a little more comfortable having a means of killing enemies that does not burn resources.
And with those handy 10 bombs, you can open up the last 3 here. You can see what's in these. Let's see. Ooh, a hammer.
Well, that is now 4 of the 7 potential starting weapons right here in this stacked escape sequence.
Indeed. Yeah, it's, sometimes you get out of here with barely any weapons. Sometimes you get out of here with all of the weapons. And today it is an all of the weapons seed. It's also 1/3 of our required items to get to Dark World. Or potential, at least.
Yes, indeed. We're going to be looking for at least 1 glove plus the Moon Pearl to complete that set.
So let's see. It looks like Skipsy is going to head up to the Lost Woods, skipping the Lumberjack check. Well, it looks like Teto might be heading to Lumberjack. Yep. Oh, and there's our Moon Pearl. It looks like we have a tier 2 tree check with bombs, so getting a couple more bombs back from that.
I believe that was a bottle full of red goo there in the Lumberjack, so not likely that we'll be seeing either of our runners going back for that.
I will defer to you on that one. I did not see it. Yeah, at this point it's very likely that will not be a requirement. It's very uncommon for a bottle on Lumberjack to actually be a required get.
Yeah, we'd need a required progression item on Sick Kid and none of the other 3 bottles available to collect it. And on Skipsy's side, we're going to see what Blind's Hut has. There's our first small 20 of the race.
I think that's almost assuredly one of our armors that got replaced.
Yep, that's what we like to call mail fraud around these parts.
Okay, so nothing really good there. I got a heart, but that's about it.
Yeah, nothing to sneeze at when it's still early days. The 4th heart container to your name, but not what you're hoping for.
Meanwhile, we'll see what the well has for us. 300 more rupees, so that brings us up to Zora money. Zora costing 500. Bombos. Quake. When we get 3? Oh, there's the glove. So we are already in Dark World access now. This is where we can get a lot of divergence on routing, because with getting, by the time you get to Kakariko, if you get early Dark World access, there's a lot of different things you can do.
Yep, you could turn around and take the CAC portal from here and have Thieves Town fully clearable right in front of you.
And with 5 hearts and a sword, it's not really a terrible option.
Yeah, not the easiest clear you could hope for, but very doable. Especially for runners of this caliber.
Indeed, yeah. There's also a lot of things to be said about not leaving Sphere 0 checks or Sphere 1 checks, which is pretty much all of the early checks that are in the game. So a lot of the Light World checks, Sahasrara, the rest of Kakariko, of course, the Dam and Mini Moldorm Cave, things like that, fall into those early checks that can have very important things that you can just kind of leave behind and never check with early starts like this.
Yeah, when you find that very early Dark World access, the nicest possible thing to find next is that mirror, so that you can route those Sphere 0 checks in with your Dark World checks. And there's half magic on Race Game. Skipsy says, I don't need it. Not worth it. Get me out of here.
Yeah, definitely one of those checks that would pay off if you just kind of checked it blindly instead of looking at it first. We'll see if Teto decides to do that or just does the check the same. Because you're not really going to want to go back for it, but if you're already halfway through the race, you may as well go grab it. Especially with that fire rod.
Yeah, as safeties go, it's definitely a nice to have. And Teto opting to check as well rather than blind pull.
Oh, he's going to go get it though. Okay. Can definitely lose some time to this, but half magic can also gain you a lot of time, especially later on in the seed.
Yeah, and getting it this early in the run when you have every boss fight still ahead of you, every dungeon still ahead of you, you're optimizing your chances for it to pay off. So I don't mind this. Don't mind spending the time one bit.
Yeah, especially if you're uncomfortable with things like early Mothula, which is definitely an option right now as well. Half magic can help that. Yeah, I do not hate this play, but it definitely puts him a little bit further behind Skipsy in these early checks.
And speaking of Skipsy, he's heading into Mini Moldorm Cave, which is another one of our very item-dense Sphere 0 locations.
Yep, dealing with it fairly well, but I think Teto can actually gain a little bit of time here since he can just fire rod them all with no problems.
Yep, and Teto beelining straight for Mini Moldorm, ooh, which does contain a bow.
Ooh, Skipsy skipping the Ice Rod Cave here, too. Oh, Teto not actually using the Fire Rod, but still having a faster Mini Moldorm Cave, I think, with the bombs throwing strat. So now Pod is, well, actually, yeah, you can get to Pod, we have Hammer, yeah. So now Pod is fully clearable, the Eastern is fully clearable, Thieves Town, Skull Woods, I think that's pretty much all of them, but that's also a lot of things that you can do.
Yeah, that's 4 clearable dungeons. Of course, of them, only Eastern is a confirmed crystal at this point, but we'll be getting that information pretty soon.
Yeah, it looks like Teto is going to head back over west side, possibly checking Agina after the dam here. So we're going to get no Ice Rod Cave check for a while, I think.
Yeah, that's one of those skips that's... It's time-consuming for just one check, and it's usually fine. Usually. It's probably fine, until it's not.
Until it's not. Until it's a flute. Or a mirror. That's probably the 2 worst things that could be there at this point.
Yep, especially when it's that flute, because that's typically what you put it off for. You figure, well, if I find the flute, that's when I'll come back for it, but if that's what's hiding there, guess what?
Yeah, shout out to boots as also being a terrible thing to find there, because you're like, oh, I'll get boots at some point, it'll be fine. Okay, so Skipsy taking his bow and diving straight into Eastern. If the big key is not in the big key chest, then I believe this is completely in logic, or at least going to Armos is. Of course, the big key chest itself wouldn't be in logic, so if that's something, it wouldn't be. But the rest of this, the fire rod does work as a light source to get through the mimic room in the back of Eastern.
Yes, indeed. And logic aside, I very much like the play. I'm a big believer in ABCD, always be clearing dungeons, unless you have a pretty strong reason not to.
Indeed. It is a good plan. Meanwhile, it looks like Teto is heading to... Ooh, talking about pendants. Heading to Dark World, giving us our first Dark World map checks. We have Pendant Swamp, Pendant Thieves Town, and Green Pendant Pod. So, 2 of those 4 dungeons are pendants.
Yep, which leaves Eastern and Skull as our 2 fully clearable crystal dungeons on the menu right now. Pendant Pod is another one, especially a green pendant pod that makes you think, ooh, that's a lot of items in there.
There's our first bottle out of Hype Cave, with a fairy in it, which is always nice in hard mode. I was not counting items on Skipsy's side, but he is skipping the big key chest, which means there's either... Okay, it looks like it's 1 dungeon item, so it's a 50-50 whether Armos has the last item or the big key chest has it. Of which only the Armos one is actually in logic. So it looks like Tito's heading up to, looks like Pyramid, and then probably Catfish afterwards. Possibly Pod, though. Catfish being another kind of out-of-the-way check that people can put off for a long time, so...
Yeah, and it's another one that you put off hoping to find, say, mirror, so that you can route the Zora area checks in with it, but...
Yeah, Zora is actually also a thing that you could do right now, but definitely don't want to walk up there. Ooh, Compass on
Skipsy
Armos.
getting off. Yeah, getting off that nice Armos quick kill, but not so nice is knowing there's an item in that Villa Big Key chest.
And that one is not in logic without the lamp, so... It can't at the very least be the lamp. He is going to leave it, though, so... Just going to hope that it isn't anything.
Yeah, I think once you take that coin flip, you stick by your decision.
Agreed, yeah. Looks like Skipsy's going to head to Hype Cave himself. Definitely would like to see a Skullwoods check at some point in the near future from either of our runners. Actually, I might have grabbed those 10 arrows. He's only at 1 right now. Guess it depends on where he's heading. Looks like Sanctuary, so I think Teto might be giving me my wish here. Meanwhile, Skipsy picking up the singular arrow that Teto has, also from Hype Cave. Yeah, we'll probably see a sick kid check from Teto as well. That is a good point. Yeah, maybe not. Looks like Skipsy's heading over to Stumpy and the digging game instead of going over to Pod area.
Yeah, these are 2 more checks that are a little rough to route in this situation.
Yeah, can definitely pay off though. I've seen mitts in this area a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, you often see these done first just before Village of Outcasts area, just to simplify decision making a little later on. In this particular case, when as Teto is doing, you're more likely to be doing Skullwoods first. I think I like the play a little less.
Yeah, I think I like the Skullwoods play here for sure. You can go straight to the back. You have a fairy now. You have Fire Rod and Half Magic, and Hammer as well if you're comfortable with those strats. This is definitely a pretty safe Mothula kill at this point, and a crystal.
Yep, yeah, I definitely like the play to prioritize the crystal clear and then make your decisions from there based on whether you pick anything up in that dungeon.
So where is our items at? We've checked a lot now between Skipsy and Teto, but no progression.
Yeah, Pod is definitely a possibility. Thieves Town's a possibility. We haven't seen any of the Village of Outcasts, so quite a lot of spots that progression could be hiding.
Indeed. So I'm gonna assume that Skipsy's doing the same play as Teto is and going straight to Skullwoods. Without mitts, it's pretty easy to do. Looks like Tito's going with hammer strats here.
Yep, it's theoretically a little faster since Hammer does of course do tempered damage, but it depends on movement patterns. That hitbox is weird, and sure enough, he opts to swap back for Fire Rod for at least a little bit here. And he needs to be careful. He's taking some damage.
Got like one or two more hits left. Ooh, very close on magic there and health. He does have a fairy, so it wasn't. Ooh, and that's the mitts.
Ooh, very nice to find.
Yeah, just barely got that splash damage out. So he already has one item out of Skullwoods. There's only one left. We'll see what this... Looks like there's a map in the big key chest. Looks like he's going to Death Warp back out of it, though. Getting rid of his fairy, unfortunately.
Managing to successfully dodge that fairy on the way back to take that last bit of damage. Good job.
So with mitts, that opens up the possibility of things like Smith being available. As well as you could sequence break Ice Palace without the flippers if you were so inclined.
Yep, a Smith chain play is a little rough with no mirror, no boots, nothing at all to make it a little quicker, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, sometimes you're just kind of stuck doing it. There's definitely been quite a few times where you can just skip and be like, I'll come back for it when I find the mirror, and then the mirror is just sitting on the chain.
Yep, and when your other options are some pretty lengthy pendant dungeons, especially without boots, sometimes you gotta take your choice out of bad options.
Oof, Skipsy almost getting grabbed by that Wallmaster there.
Yep, he was playing it safe, waiting for him. You don't want to get 1.0'd. Which is what we call it when the Wallmaster grabs you while you're falling, so named because it can only happen in the 1.0 version.
Yeah. So he doesn't have half magic, so he's stuck using pretty much all hammer strats. He also has a fairy. I think he already has 2 or 3 hits in now, so... Ooh,
and there's the Master Sword. was hidden behind the big key, which is the other check here in the back. So that back to front paying off.
Okay, nice save from Skipsy there. Manages to not use his fairy, though he might end up using a death warp in the back as well. But stayed patient, didn't take too much damage, and managed to take it down with a hammer. Well played.
Just a big 20 there on bumper ledge. Not anything we're going to need to worry about.
Ooh, Teto needs to be a little bit careful. He's sitting on half a heart here. Once he gets into Thieves Town, he'll be okay, but... Okay, looks like Skipsy's going to hold on to his fairy, so we'll see if that plays a difference later on. Meanwhile, Cane of Burna from Teto in C-shaped. Looks like Tito's going to head straight into the front of Thieves Town here. Don't know if he might just end up checking the first 4 and dipping out. With half a heart, he'll definitely want to heal that up, and since he hasn't already healed up his health, I'm guessing that's his plan. He's just going to take the top 4 and then death warp out. Or take the front 4, rather. Ooh, gets rewarded with boots, though. Oh, and death. Well, now he might continue since he took that death. Especially with boots now, you can definitely think about getting through the rest of Thieves Town here. Okay, Skipsy heading to the big chest, grabbing his Master Sword. There's the expected big key. And a map, so only one item in the front, those being the boots. So looks like looks like he's going to take a death warp here and head back or head out of Thieves Town. So there'll be 3 items in the back of Thieves Town that he skipped. But getting boots will definitely speed up some time, get him through certain dungeons faster, like Eastern. Skipsy right behind, though, will be almost assuredly grabbing the boots not long from now.
Yeah, always nice when you see your 2 runners finding boots close together. It's a real feels bad moment when you lose a race. Just because boots were in some weird out-of-the-way place and your opponent had them all game while you find them at the last minute.
Yeah, it can be awkward. So looks like Teto is going to do the hammer pegs, but hasn't done the dig game yet. You can't do the dig game with the smith. So if he does grab... I guess Smith isn't even here anyway. Oh, the mirror. Okay, so now you can just do the whole Smith chain and be fine. Never mind what I was going to say.
Yeah, mirror plus boots makes that Smith chain play a lot more attractive.
And that's interesting, because a lot of people will actually save that hammer pegs check until after you have the mirror, or going to be doing the Smith chain anyway. So it's very possible Skipsy could skip it. And we'll see if Skipsy decides to do the back of Thieves Town. Ooh, it looks like we are. So we are seeing some divergence here with Skipsy heading to the back of Thieves Town with 3 more items, but only a pendant. Yeah, it's definitely easy to do with boots and hammer, and I don't hate the play, but...
Yeah, memes about bold move caught and aside, I between this and Thieves Town not knowing yet that the mirror is right there, it's kind of an even money bet, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Making sure to remember Sick Kid is always good. Skipsy actually getting the good pixel through the hellway there, but got knocked out of it by the whatever that enemy is called, the ghost things.
I'm sure they have a silly official name. Everybody I know calls them Patrick Star.
Works for me. So the second item in Thieves Town is just 10 arrows. Meanwhile, Smith is the lamp. Okay, so what would we have left? We have the rest of Thieves Town, which we are checking from Skipsy. We have Purple Chest, which we are on the way to do. One interesting little thing that looks like Teto is not going to do, but you can actually just kind of leave the Purple Chest. Actually, never mind. He's doing K45 on the way, which makes perfect sense. Ignore me. Maybe we'll see it after K45.
Yep, I'd be sort of surprised if we don't. But let's find out here.
Yeah, and as noted in chat, we do have that big key chest in Eastern that is now definitely in Logic.
Yes, indeed. We also haven't, don't believe we've seen the inside of Pod yet.
Yep, looks like Teto is indeed doing the thing I was mentioning before. He's gonna leave the purple chest behind, but never fear, it will magically be where he is when he mirrors. Skipsy having a pretty good blind fight. But only for bombs, so back of Thieves Town not paying off. Ooh, Thekana Samaria. Well, you know, I was asking for progression. I think we found the progression.
I think so. Seems like Smith Chain has all the goods today.
Ooh, actually, all these finds have all been like the perfect finds to make it to Death Mountain and Eastern Death Mountain. So it's definitely not a terrible option at this point.
Absolutely. Really, the only other thing that you want before going up there, if you can swing it, is a hook shot would be very nice to get everything out of Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, but now you can do Hera, you can do that, you can even dive Turtle Rock, very, very likely, unless it happens to be Ether.
Yep, but Tito's got other ideas. He's gonna grab this long-awaited Ice Rod Cave, and I'd be not at all surprised to see some water walk strats coming out of here.
Just bombs, so nothing missed there. I did not see if Skipsy did the hammer pegs, but he went to grab the Smith already. Actually, no, that makes sense because he's already done the South Dark World checks, so he's probably going to grab this and then either save and quit afterwards, or, well, he would have saved and quit afterwards. Otherwise, he's going to grab the mirror and do the mirror things.
Yep, you could see him readying up that save and quit and then realizing, oh, mirror, I don't need to save and quit no more.
Seeing the uncommon, if you get a health refill when you're doing the little glitch that lets you walk in Waterfall Cave here, it actually puts you back into swimming form. He gets another heart. Okay, so Teto is heading to the Zora here. Click nothing on the ledge, so those flippers aren't really that required.
Oh no, Skipsy leaving the purple chest behind. He might just be grabbing Sick Kid. Hopefully he goes back for it.
Yeah. That's the wrong direction. Looks like he's going straight to the mountain, so I'm be making the play that I was talking about before, but without that cane, which means it won't be able to dip Turtle Rock, which could be good, could be bad. A lot of things that you can always dive without like an ice rod or something and not be having a good time afterwards because nothing was there.
Yeah, the big question is skipping purple chest now. When does Skipsy go back for it? At this point, he's really hoping to find a flute, which is the only thing that makes that turn in any faster that could conceivably bring him back there. Another option would be powder. He could route a batter with that pickup.
Yeah, it's definitely could be a long time before he gets that red cane. So he's definitely hoping that there's no real progression in Turtle Rock or Mire. But even if there isn't, he's likely to do most other things before that. Like you said, unless he finds powder or something.
Yeah, in fact, progression in Trock and Mire might actually be better for him because that brings him back to that last location sooner.
True. We got another heart on Spectacle Rock. Piece that we can safely skip. Oh, okay. So Teto actually just save and quit after rescuing the old man. And he's going to eastern area, it looks like.
Looks like he's setting up a fake flipper using some Ancilla delete strats.
Yeah, there's a mushroom there. So this is the Ice Palace play, it looks like. So I know I was mentioning it earlier. I wasn't actually expecting someone to do it. So interesting play from Teto. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I like it. Certainly it's out of logic. You're not going to find the flippers in there. But then again, might not need the flippers with Swamp Palace being a pendant. And with Boots and Red Cane, there's not much he's going to find elsewhere that's going to make this any quicker, so you might as well knock it out, grab the crystal.
Yeah, I think he might be imagining the sea kind of directing, like, Flippers is going to be somewhere on the mountain, possibly maybe even in Turtle Rock, while Ice Rod is sitting in Ice Palace. Like, that's definitely a chain that could happen here.
Absolutely, or if Flippers is tucked away in say, Pod, someplace where you might never need to go otherwise.
Yeah, I could definitely see the justification going to Pod and Eastern before coming up here as well, or going up the mountain as well.
Yeah, certainly Eastern at the very least. If you don't find anything there, then you've got a real question between Mountain and Pod, but I think I would still prioritize Mountain. Hera's up there and other of your crystal dungeons, plus a whole lot of items.
Yeah, I think if you're going over to Eastern, you may as well go do Pod as well, and just go to the Dark World, with Boots and Hammer and everything. Like, there's not much reason not to. Ooh, Skipsy taking a fall in Moldorm, though. A second fall, even, rather. Okay, one more hammer. Oh, a third fall.
Trolldorm living up to his name.
Or straight to the iced tea room.
Yep, definitely a nice bit of routing if the key layout is generous enough to allow it, which in this case it does.
Skipsy at half of a heart manages to take down Trolldorm here.
Yeah, it's not often you find yourself in danger of a death as opposed to a fall from Trolldorm, but
It happens. And unfortunately, getting a poke on that third hit meant it was a fast Moldorm time. So first item out of Ice Palace was a shield. And there's nothing in Hera as well, it looks like. That's a compass. So last two items are in the big chest and on Cold Stare himself. Themselves? Oh, never mind. I missed an item apparently. Now surely the last item is on Cold Stare.
Fairly sure you're right. Meanwhile, Skipsy giving us our first look at Paradox Cave. 7 items in here.
Oh, there's our Tempered Sword. There is a 4th sword standing out there somewhere. If Skipsy finds it, they'll find a 20, but Teto could find that one before that, the mini Moldorm one. It's a shovel. You know, with half magic, Tito's making very quick work of Cold Stare here. Well, good fight. And just a 20, so nothing in Ice Palace. That's unfortunate. So now with, if like Flippers ends up being the Go Mode item, that's going to be some time gained from Skipsy, for Skipsy. And then Encilling back off and heading straight to Eastern from here. That's good routing. I like it. Is kind of leaving behind the Hobo, but without Flippers, I guess, just go for it.
Yep, and with that mirror in tow, you can get to Hobo a little more easily.
Not going to pod either. Okay. Yeah, at least you don't have to go back to Ice Palace, agreed. No, he's not checked the Hostralas yet. Getting a nice Burn-a-Dash there.
Skipsy showing us Super Bunny Cave, just 50 bucks, and the Ether Medallion. So Skipsy will not have to worry about entrance requirements for Meyer or Trock today.
And that means the Turtle Rock dip is definitely in effect now.
Well, it will be when Teto makes his way up there. Skipsy could dip into Turtle Rock, but he's not going to get far without that red cane.
You can check the hint tablet. There's hints, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like Skipsy pretty much only has Spike Cave left here. So not really a ton on the mountain either. That started to lead me to believe that pod is actually the play here. Or that aforementioned Turtle Rock dip with the red cane.
Yeah, that's a bit of a rough choice. But there is one more location, and Tito's about to show it to us. It's that Eastern Big Key chest that Skipsy skipped on his trip in there.
Yeah, that's definitely something that could not be good for Skipsy. Looks like Skipsy's catching up on the check over here. Might see some overworld checks get caught up for Skipsy as well, like Zora area. We know there's nothing of use, but... just a bottle, okay. So I'm curious if Teto is going to full commit. Despite not going to the Dark World first, he still definitely could go to pod after this, having not found anything.
Yeah, it would be a bit of a time commitment versus if he planned on doing it and headed here in the Dark World in the first place, but I like that he sort of left his options open if he had happened to find some good progression here in Eastern Palace.
Yeah, it's not too long of a run. Mirroring takes quite a while, so being able to cut out mirrors saves a lot of that time back.
But from Tito's perspective, that mountain's got to be attractive just knowing that you've got that Hera crystal ahead of you.
Yeah, there's still a lot of checks up there.
Ooh, and it looks like Skipsy has circled back around for that purple chest.
Yep, looks like Teto is heading to Sahasrahla from here, so Skipsy's going to get the K-45 out of the way and get the cane out. What are they going to do with that, though, is the question.
Oh yeah, chat brings up a good point. He does have that shovel from up the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
That one extra check might have been what it took between that K-45 and this abandoned purple chest to say, you know what, maybe I better just complete that smith chain.
And at this point, he's running out of options, really. It's this or pod. Or Zora, I guess. I guess he's Ice Rod Cave, too. It's a lot of out-of-the-way stuff, though. Looks like negative on that shovel check, or panning out, though.
Yep, and sure enough, Tito's heading up the mountain, looking like a Tower of Hera play. He's not going to find much in the way of progression up here, but you got to get that crystal sometime.
Yeah, I think we're almost definitely seeing a Turtle Rock dip from Teto here. Eventually.
Yeah, once he's exhausted the other possibilities of the mountain.
I wasn't counting my items from Hera, but I'm guessing there was both items. Yeah, there's the second one, so... See, I remember the Piece of Heart was on Moldorm.
So at this point, we're in a bit of an ice rod hunt. We do also need flute for both mire and desert access.
And flippers, yeah.
Well, we need flippers logically for Ice Palace, but with Swamp Palace being a pendant...
Oh, fair
both
point.
Of our,
yep.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if either of our runners are too worried about it. Of course, Tito's already decided he's not.
That mushroom is kind of scary, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, no.
Oh, Trolldorm with a vengeance.
Moldorm is in full form today, apparently. Moldorm 4, or Moldorm 5, rather. Actually, we count that as a 2-pointer, right?
I think so.
Moldorm 5, runners 1.
And Skipsy running out of Zora area. I wonder where he's headed to next.
This Moldorm, though. What's wrong with the Moldorm? We're at 6-1 now. Oh, Skipsy was gonna go back to possibly Ice Palace, but looks like a save and quit instead. Okay, where is Skipsy going? It's possible Skipsy doesn't know the Ancilla setup with bow and bombs, and is actually going to head back and do a water walk to Ice Palace here. Or just a fake flipper, rather. That'd be the better option.
Yeah, this setup is certainly a little quicker and easier. It's just a matter of getting to the spot.
There's so much new tech with Ancilla and water walking and all that. I keep forgetting there's like, you know, you can just water or fake flipper. So with this, both our runners are going to pretty much be converged on about the same checks at this point. Skipsy has that shovel check ahead of Teto, while I think Teto might have something else somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, the big question mark, the two big question marks right now are Pod and Turtle Rock. If Turtle Rock is the answer, then that's likely to be advantage Teto, since he will reach it in just a few moments here with the means to enter it, which Skipsy did not during his mountain climb. If Pod's the answer, that could very well be advantage Skipsy. Of course, with 2 items from Go Mode minimum, they could very well both be the answer.
Yeah, that also would not surprise me. Teto has done Pyramid Catfish and that Eastern Palace check, while Skipsy has also done the back of Thieves Town. That's the other main differences here, I think. I think at this point you actually don't want to find flippers, though. That puts the... I guess you need hookshot first, but...
Yep, of course that's true. I've been neglecting hookshot through all of this, so yeah, flute and ice rod would make this clearable if you can hover. That's a big if. I have no idea whether either of these runners hover.
I would guess no, but I have no idea. I didn't see Skipsy try to hover the hookshot caves. We'll see if Teto tries to. That's probably going to be our indicator.
Yep, and of course, with Swamp being a pendant, that hookshot could be in GT for all we know.
Yeah, don't remind me. So Teto grabbing that ether. Skipsy gets their fire shield. So we're pretty much geared up on all of our gear we can get now. Found a few bottles, we found both the shields, there's no mail upgrade, we got all of our swords.
Yep, we've even got that half magic.
Even got the half magic, yep. Yep, so it looks like Teto didn't try to do the thing either, but we are going to indeed see a Turtle Rock dip here.
Yep, it's hard to get away from it once you're already up here. It's gonna feel real bad if it turns out not to be the answer, but at some point you gotta make a hard decision.
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna find flute either here or pod at this point.
Yeah. Of course, the dream, if you're Teto, is to find Ice Rod somewhere in here, maybe on Laser Bridge, and just go ahead and clear it.
Yeah, pretty much, I don't even care what else is in here if I find Ice Rod in this tip. That will be good enough for me.
Yeah, even if you find flute, book, hookshot, one of your other required items in here, if that ice rod is sitting in pod, then this is still a net time loss.
Ooh, Skipsy missing the spin on the start of Cold Start, and that was real close.
Yep. This is where that half magic would have come in real handy. We saw how fast and efficient Teto's fight was here, despite losing those puffs out of the corner. Being able to just spam Fire Rod.
Yeah, I do believe Skipsy did have a fairy, but so it wasn't like super scary, but it was still a good save. Meanwhile, Teto forgetting to do the long route initially on the torches here. Something that I always forget to do, so understandable.
Yep, it's always fun watching watching these higher ranked runners, myself being a Challenge Cup scrub, making those same little errors that I do, and just making me feel better about myself.
Okay, Skipsy heading to the Dark World here, which tells me that it's very likely a pod check, or at the very least pyramid catfish. Could be both. So nothing in the front of Turtle Rock, which is unsurprising.
Yep, and Skipsy at the very least going to Pyramid first, that's a play that I like before going into a pendant pod, just on the off chance.
Yeah, for sure. Spin speed definitely gives some helpful time gain here as well.
Yep, sure enough. Turning around, heading to pod, gonna leave Catfish for another day, if ever.
I don't know if either of our runners have done Graveyard Ledge yet, actually, so...
Yeah, I think you're correct. I believe they knocked out the North Light World boots checks before finding that mirror. That's what you would usually want to route together with it to make it a little less painful.
Yeah, I think he might also be thinking about that eastern chest that he skipped. We'll probably go grab that if he doesn't find anything at pod. I think if he finds something in pod, though, he's just going to leave it. And at this point, we're likely to find something in pod.
Yeah. Even if he doesn't find anything in pod, that's... Having spent all that time in a relatively lengthy dungeon for just a pendant, you're probably already feeling behind and feeling like maybe you need to double down on those gambles, especially when you have all of Turtle Rock ahead of you.
Indeed.
It's a tough call no matter which way you slice it.
Yeah, it really is. Looks like we're going to see all the items on the laser bridge this seed. First is a big 20. Looks like nothing in pod other than keys. Which, once again, there's 4 guaranteed in the front 6 checks, so...
Skipsy showing us some nice... I believe that's called stair state extension?
I think that's a technical term for it. For some reason, they started calling it PogJamp Skip. Or PogJamp.
Yep. That's a term I've heard as well.
Looks like just another big 20 in pod. What are we gonna find? Laser bridge. A key. Dude, having a little bit of issues here with a not quite big 20. Piece of heart.
One more chance to find anything at all.
The
And it's
flute.
flute!
My goodness. God, classic Turtle Rock. So now, does Skipsy find the ice rod in Pod here? That's the question.
So that flute opens up 2 checks in Mire proper, plus 3 more in the Mire area, plus
Desert.
2 in Desert. So that's a pretty good bit of value for that flute, and you are really hoping to find the ice rod locked behind that flute. You want to know that that Troc double dip was inevitable.
Yeah, that's definitely your ideal here. Poor Skipsy, hoping to skip the big key chest here, and I guess actually technically you can. It should be a key behind a key at this point.
Yep. Yeah, that checking that basement chest. I'm not sure how I feel about that, considering that you could have just gone straight to the boss, and if you find your item on the boss, which indeed is what's going to happen, you know you don't need it.
Yeah, I probably could have saved it for after the boss. Nope, there's our other bottle. It's sitting on Desert Ledge with another fairy. Okay, let's see. So there's nothing in Mire Shed. Let's start seeing what's in Desert here. This is a key of some sort. The small version of it.
Oh, perfect one-cycle turtle room there on Skipsy's side. That's some tight timing to make that happen. And flippers in Desert!
That's not really what you wanted to see, but I guess now Ice Palace is in logic. But also Pedestal. Nope, sorry, I need a hook shot. Ignore me.
Yep, it does open up, what is it, the first 4 checks in Swamp Palace, but that's a real ugly play if it's what's required.
Hookshot could be there.
And Helmasaur goes down. He's going to be hiding the last pod item, plus whatever's on the green pendant.
Okay, so nothing there. See if he does end up doing the big key chest in Eastern here. Chat thinks no, and chat is correct.
He is going to go ahead and turn in that green pendant, though, which I think you very much have to do after committing to pod. Just bombs.
So pod was actually a complete bust. Color me surprised. So I think the only check left that would have made a double dip TR not required is the graveyard ledge.
I do believe you're correct.
I guess it looks like the second item's on the big chest here for Teto. So relatively safe 50-50 to take.
Oh, yeah, agreed.
Just 10 arrows, so Meyer maybe then.
Looks like we've got checkerboard in our future as well.
Yep. It's check number 5 in Meyer area here.
And there's our hook shot.
So, Ice Rod Pedestal, anybody?
Yep, at this point it's a good old-fashioned ice rod hunt, and certainly that's what Skipsy's hoping for after putting all that effort into a dry pod.
Oh, wow. This is an interesting play by Teto. Going straight back to Hookshot Cave with this hookshot.
Yeah, not sure how I feel about that. You'll feel like a big brain genius if you wind up being able to guide Meyer because of it, but I don't know. That's weighing that against definitely taking another mountain climb.
Looks like Skipsy was trying to get over to Graveyard Ledge from Catfish, but unfortunately without Hookshot, that is not a possibility. Looks like Skipsy's gonna head up the mountain again here, heading to Turtle Rock, because honestly there isn't much else to do, so...
Yeah.
There's our 14th heart, which is what we'll be capped at for this seed. Or for all seeds, I should say.
Yep, get ready to see a lot more small 20s from this point on. Every heart container and heart piece left in the item pool.
Okay, so Teto finding nothing in Hookshot Cave. Looks like gonna head and do Spike Cave, which is nothing. And then I guess back to Mire, or maybe Swamp, but probably Mire.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to justify a Pendant Swamp when you've got a fully clearable crystal dungeon ahead of you, even though it only has 2 items in it. Why not hope that one of those 2 is the one you need?
Yeah, I think Teto was just hoping to be able to skip the full clearing of Mire, because that can definitely be lengthy. But so is Mountain Climbs, so I guess kind of gambling either way.
Yeah, and considering that even go-moding Mire isn't necessarily that quick if that big key is hiding somewhere lame. Like, yes, God Mire is wonderful, but how often is it even an option?
Oh yeah, that is a good point. I missed that Mire was the other 5-6 crystals, so... Mire also gives you the access to Pyramid Fairy.
Oh yeah, that's a very good point.
Skipsy going the wrong direction, but at least remembering to turn around before lighting some torches. Okay, so Skipsy heading through Turtle Rock will be in there for a bit before he finally finds his flute at the end of the road. Gonna definitely be feeling real bad about that, I imagine. Especially even before, like, is it just gonna be on Pyramid or the Graveyard Ledge after going through all this Turtle Rock junk? I know that's what I would be thinking.
Yeah, although Ice Rod sitting in that graveyard ledge that both of our runners have orphaned might be Skipsy's only hope at this point. So that's a potential last location for both of our runners, which would even things back up a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely some things that could even things back up. Like if this turns into a pedestal check, Skipsy has already cleared 2 of them. So that could very well bring Skipsy back into potentially catching up. As far as how often PED seeds happen, I forget the exact percentage. There's definitely been like percentages of these things figured out. I want to say it's somewhere around the 14% range. I could be mistaken though.
Yeah, 14% sounds high, but statistics are not my strong suit, which means I've chosen exactly the wrong hobby.
There we
And
go.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that was the second Meyer item.
I'm looking for it. 1 second. Okay, sorry, yeah, that was really high. It's actually more like 5%.
Okay, that sounds right. But then, as a D&D player, I can't conceive of a probability lower than a natural 1.
Yeah, so as of some stats sheet that I found, the good sourced person that knows how this stuff, basically, trusted source, about 4.85% was the average chance across a bunch of seeds. Okay, so Teto finishing Meyer. Looks like there was nothing there. Wow, Skipsy finding that flute.
Teto pulling out his flute. Let's see where he goes. Does appear to be the swamp play, which you're still working off of that hook shot that got opened up by the Troc play. Still running down that logic chain, hoping to find that Go Mode Ice Rod hidden behind it.
Yeah,
Oh, but it looks like
flippers as well. No, he's gonna do the pyramid first. This might be pyramid into pod.
yeah, doing the pyramid first makes a lot of sense.
I think Skipsy's going to get that half magic that they left behind a long time ago. Yeah, That appears to be the case. It's kind of rough grabbing it now, though, after spending a lot of the seed, where, quite a few fights where you could have used it. Especially the cold stare fight standing out.
Yeah. Pyramid Fairy has 300 bucks, a free fairy, and 10 arrows. No progression.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking Swamp here myself. I think even if I hadn't done her scene pod yet. Can check Hobo here too. Ooh, I don't know if I agree skipping Hobo. Did Teto already do it? Oh, he has right, we also have things like
he's grabbing that mushroom.
Mushroom. Yeah. Yeah, we haven't actually seen a hobo check. I still don't think we've seen a graveyard ledge check either.
Yep, so Teto very much trying to clean up some of these one-offs before committing to the swamp play, it seems like.
Very nice Samire 2 from Skipsy there. Oh, it was on Hobo.
And there it is!
Imagine doing all the fake flipper checks except for Hobo. And it's just there. And they both did it too. That's the crazy thing.
Yep. So, from our perspective, we know that Teto is in a very good position, but it always feels bad finding that go mode item someplace that may not have been in logic for that long, but has been available pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah, that's one of those ice rod or one of those checks that you check late and it's something's there, you just feel way behind because you just assume your opponent had faked it at some point. So double tip of Turtle Rock was logically required, but the relatively simple fake flipper definitely could have been skipped.
Yeah, actually not so, because the flippers were in the back of Thieves Town, weren't they?
No, the flippers were in Desert, wasn't it?
Oh, you're right, it was Desert. My mistake.
Yeah, flippers were in Desert, and Hookshot is in Checkerboard. That's the one.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, this is very much Tito's match to lose at this point.
Yeah, Teto already only has Turtle Rock to finish, and then GT. And with everything cleared already, Teto can just head straight to try an X.
Yep, unfortunately, Turtle Rock, one of those dungeons that you're not saving that much time on the second dip versus the first.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it could have been a waste of time, but I also think that if you're going to water walk, Hobo is one of the best places to water walk to. Because you can fake flipper back out of it if you really want to go check Zora and such. And you save a lot of swim time.
Yeah, that swim back to the water portal across Lake Hylia doesn't feel great, but you've got to weigh that against just how bad a required hobo item can bite you if you skip it.
Okay. Playing some wall ball there with the pokey.
Teto heading into his Trinex fight. Always nice to head into here with Tempered Sword. Just makes life so much easier.
Yeah, Tempered Sword half magic. You're not worried about it at the slightest. Yep, looks like a good spooky setup from Skipsy. Gonna be not too far behind on the clear of this dungeon compared to Teto on Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, 2 more actual dungeons behind, plus trying to find the ice rod.
Yep, and there's that Swamp Palace rabbit hole that he could get sucked down. He would have to absolutely god route it from this point, and Teto would have to make some mistakes to even this race back up.
Yep, and with that, with Teto finishing his 7th crystal, we like to do a little game on SpeedGaming called the Big Key GT Big Key guessing game. It can be any number between 1 and 22. The first runner to make it into GT will be the one we count off of. In this case, it'll be Teto. And it'll just be the order in which he checks the chests. Whichever chest he picks up is the one that we get. Get your numbers in fast, because as soon as he gets in, we're going to cut it off.
And Sauce Robot reports that we have 15 real, genuine, fake internet points to give out to our winner today.
Yep, looks like we had a key in Hope Room, so we're going to go with the classic compass room check over here. Let's see what's on compass side. We got bombs. We got a piece of heart probably. Another boomerang and 20 more rupees. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was number 8 on the Bob's torch there. Oh, 7. I can count.
Okay, just making sure.
This one's 8. Got a book at number 9. And we got Skipsy heading to the back of the desert. That looks like 10 and 11 were not the answer.
Yep, nor was 12. That's another 10 arrow stack. Lucky number 13 is not our lucky number today.
Well, if I had remembered to place my vote in, I would have said Rando Room, so looking good for me so far. Never mind. It's in the basement. Or maybe not.
There's always tile room.
There's always tile room.
Meanwhile, Skipsy just collected his 6th crystal, and he's about to find his hook shot.
Yeah, we'll see if he ends up going into swamp off of this, or does indeed check Hobo first. I believe Skipsy has also seen that mushroom, so could definitely see that being a possibility. Bob's chest is just 20. Alright, there goes Armos.
Very efficient Ice Armos fight.
Let's see, number 20 was the answer. Not quite tile room.
Congratulations to Sephi911. Enjoy your real, genuine fake internet points, except no substitutes.
Whew, barely enough arrows for Mimic Room here.
Yep, of course. Teto knows that there's 5 extras under that skull there. He gets to save them for later. And it looks like Skipsy is indeed making the swamp play. It's hard to fault him, but we know that that's not the answer.
Yeah, there's 6 chests? 5 chests? 5 chests in here. 5 items. And the pedestal, which he's already done the other 2 checks for.
Yep. And after that pod play wound up dry, as did the back of Thieves Town for that matter, it makes a lot of sense to just double down. You figure, I gotta be behind, I need to make some plays, and just play to my outs and hope.
Yeah, he's pretty priced into the ped check at this point. We'll get the bad news probably roughly around when he's done with his dungeon, but hopefully we'll see a ped check first. I know, I'm interested.
The blind ped check is always a fun time.
It could be the... Oh, no, it can't be the book. Never mind. We found the book in GT. Ooh, Teto just missing that last Wizrobe there. Looks like Skipsy's gonna go straight to the back here and skip the left side. Makes sense.
Looks like Skipsy having a little bit of trouble with that diver down.
Yeah, a little bit. There we go. Finds the big key in sunken chests here.
Yep, no sense turning around for that big chest. He knows he's probably going to have to turn around and come back in for left side anyway, so why stress it?
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he just left after the boss here and went straight to pedestal.
You may very well be right.
I could see him stopping by Lake Hylia and Hobo first. We'll see.
Yeah, you could even do Pyramid Ferry coming out of here. That's a common place to try to route it in. Meanwhile, Teto entering into his Aga 2 fight.
Gets a double on the first one. Another double. That was a good double, actually. Oh, another blue ball, unfortunately.
Yep, narrowly misses the triple-double there. Cleaning it up and heading on to his pig fight.
And some good dash strats on Argus from Skipsy here. Gets his third pendant. Oh, looks like he's going to do Pyramid Fairy, actually. That makes sense as well.
Very nice spin off the Trident from Teto to open things up here.
Didn't quite get the one cycle, but we'll have a really easy one cycle for phase 2 here. Just hang in the corner, do a few spins, call it good. Ooh!
Yep.
Yeah, a little careful at least. I don't think that would have killed him. I think it laid those like 3 hearts, but
Yeah, still. You get to that, you get to this point in your Ganon fight, you gotta watch out. I saw you had a green goo in one bottle, I'm not sure what he's got in the other one.
I know he skipped the ferry on Desert Ledge. And they don't have a net, so he definitely doesn't have a ferry. Unless one of the free ones was a ferry. I forget if that was the case. I know green was one of the free ones.
Yep, but on into the final phase. This one's a little safer.
Yeah, it might have been a free ferry from the thing, but that looks like Skipsy's heading to Hobo. We'll get his Go Mode Ice Rod, and then probably about immediately after that, Tito's got to finish, unfortunately. There's the Ice Rod.
Skipsy figuring it's not over till it's over. Let's do this thing. All right, and Tito's stream catching back up to us to a credit screen. He did not take a surprise fall in the final phase there. He did indeed finish. Get your GGs in chat. Teto has finished in first place with an official race time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 54 seconds.
Yeah, GG's to Teto. Hopefully we can get him in here for an interview here shortly.
Yep, this race is being simultaneously streamed over on the German language channel, so I am not sure. We'll see when and whether we get either of our runners in here for an interview. They may be giving interviews over there as well. Meanwhile, it looks like Skipsy is finishing things out, progressing on through his second run through Turtle Rock.
Yeah, admirable, honestly. Gonna get a almost full clear seat in.
And yes, if you are just joining us, this was in fact a one-on-one race, part of the group stage of the 2021 main ALTTPR tournament. This is match. Go ahead.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah, it's the all matches in this tournament are best of threes. I think actually near the end it switches to best of five, but for now it's best of threes. So Teto is now up 1-0. Which does mean Skipsy still definitely has a chance to come back and win the next two.
Yep, and in this group stage, it is double elimination. So even if Skipsy does wind up losing match 2, he is not out of the tourney yet. And it looks like we are joined by Teto. Congratulations and GG's, sir.
Yeah, hey, greetings and thanks. Just got some internet problems right here, right now. I don't know, but I think it's currently running.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room. How about that ice rod location? How were you feeling when you pulled that?
Oh, I don't know. This seat was so harsh at this point. I didn't want to go on mountain without the ice ward because that could be a problem in Turtle Rock if the opponent might clear it fully. And so I nearly dodged it twice. And at this point, it was like maybe those flippers are go mode-ish in some way, so you don't get anything behind those flippers. And this hobo check is always pretty time-consuming to go up there and swim all the way back. I don't like this very much, so I skipped this for good.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, both of you guys ended up doing that, so it kind of made sense with the way the routing was in this one. It's all over the place.
Yeah, and in the end, it was like, yeah, okay, now you have to go everything behind those flu checks and getting the hook shot, getting the flippers. It was like, oh, maybe swamp, maybe all those leftover locations. I mean, the shroom on the island, and so luckily I could route it back in there because it was like if Skipsy was already in port or in Thieves Town, this is already lost if there's the ice ward, so he could full clear Turtle Rock without those double dips and so on.
Yeah, Skipsy had actually ended up going to the mountain before doing Purple Chest. He skipped out on Purple Chest the first trip to Village of Outcasts. So he wasn't able to do the Turtle Rock dip and ended up coming down off and he actually did the same Ice Palace fake flipper like you did afterwards and then pod before going back up the mountain. Pretty much last location, Turtle Rock. But also managed to fake flipper everything except for Hobo.
Yeah, I think this could have changed the whole outcome of the seed, like a lot of minutes both of us wasted there with the ice ward.
Yeah, like both of you guys skipped Graveyard Ledge, like we never even saw what Graveyard Ledge was.
Yeah, this was all my routing. Like, okay, now you're going for the red bomb, back for the mushroom, the hobo play, and up the hole with the hook shot on the other side for the Graveyard Ledge. Maybe fake powder and going for the mushroom and then back to swamp. So yeah, it was like doing all those checks somehow in a chain, but yeah, luckily it wasn't in Thieves Town up.
Yeah, he did clear Thieves Town the first trip as well, so...
Yeah, the boots in the first chest, but 3 items in the back, it's always scary.
Yeah, it was a hard choice, like... I was wondering, like, I figured your plan was to just kind of death warp after the first one, but then you died after the second boots, and it's like, well, maybe he'll just be like, I'll just go to the back anyway, there's 3 items back there.
Yeah, the whole first hour or 40 minutes, it was like everything just went into me. I don't know what happened there, 2 falls on Moldorm, and in the whole overworld, everything just, like a magnet, went towards me. And so as well.
Oops, sorry. I think it was just the Moldorm logic on that one. We were actually laughing because Skipsy also ended up having 2 falls in Moldorm there. Like, no. It's just a rude Moldorm.
Yeah, no, not today, sir. That's not nice of him. Yeah, but yeah, Skipsy, it's a rough opponent. We played each other not in the German tournament, but before a few times. Maybe more or less like a good friend. So yeah, these are going to be close games. It's not my best my opponent I wished for in the first place. But yeah, let's go game 2 or game 3. It's always possible to go over the full distance.
Yeah, definitely. That's what it is. Like, sometimes you just get put up against your friends, sometimes you don't, and never get to play them. I'm kind of of two minds about that myself, but...
Yeah.
Do you guys know when your next race is going to be?
We didn't talk about this. We were like, we are free Monday till Wednesday, so maybe Wednesday now, taking the day off tomorrow. But I think we will talk about this a little bit later tonight.
Oh, that makes sense. Meanwhile, Skipsy is getting close to that big key, heading to Ice Armos now.
Yeah, like Skipsy is just washing through the seat, as it seems. I would join the German interview. There's a German restream as well, so they got some company from the Wanna sides too, and I think it's okay. Thanks for the commentary here on SpeedGaming 3, both of you, and Adilor for the tracking.
Thank you for hopping in here as well, and great GG's on the race. Great job.
Thanks a lot. See you later.
And as we let Teto go on to his German language interview, this seems like a good opportunity to just remind everybody to give both of our runners a follow. They've put on a great show for us here today. And also to my co-commentator Freddie and our lovely tracker, Adalor.
Yeah, thank you to both Adalor and Ben for helping ease me back into some Link to the Past action. I may be taking a break from the tournament, but I'm definitely not taking a break from commentary.
Yeah. I don't know that anybody's going to be getting much of a break if you're involved in this community over the next couple of weeks. Group stage is a busy time for all of us, whether you're tracking, restreaming, commentating, playing, or just watching.
Yeah, suffice to say, if you like the Link to the Past Randomizer, it is a good month for you. Or like watching, I should say.
Yep. Flip on any given SpeedGaming Network channel or or any of our other restream channels, and likely as not, you're going to find something to watch any old time of day. Meanwhile, Skipsy continuing his GT, heading up into the gauntlet here.
Pretty good first room. Brings out the fire rod to work on the rest of it. Or not, maybe.
It's nice to have it.
It's a helpful nudge from the BMOS there.
Ooh, no. Narrowly missing that second fire rod shot for the one cycle Lambo.
Yeah, it was a good fight up until that point. Still not bad though. Real fast,
oh,
2
yeah.
cycle. It's a nice free magic upgrade, or refill from the whiz robes there. Always welcome. I don't think Teto opened up any of these checks, so maybe we'll see a couple from Skipsy.
Yeah, hard to imagine what he could be wanting, but sometimes
just
you
wanna
see,
know.
yeah. Doesn't quite get that initial dash on Moldorm 2, but considering how cruel Moldorm 1 was, I think you feel good just getting through Moldorm 2 without taking a fall.
Yeah. You're not wanting to mess around with Moldorm 2 at this point? Or Moldorm in general?
Taking an unfortunate hit and screwing up his pattern, I should say. Bit of a rough Aga 2 fight here.
Yeah. Okay, it's looking better now. Should be one more hit left.
And the wizard goes down. We're gonna summon this duck. How did this duck get to the dark world? We don't know, but he's gonna take us to a pig fight.
Don't worry about it. Magic portal in this guy. Probably.
Yeah. But really what we've learned is that the duck must be pure of heart to not turn into some kind of a monster in the dark world. Either that or he found the moon pearl too. There's a lot of deep lore around this duck.
It's just pecking at the moon pearl. Got a little chip out of it. Ooh. I was thinking it was one sword slash off of one cycle there. But once again, pretty easy 2 cycle from that position. Or second phase, rather.
Whoop, gotta be careful now, though. And that's always rude when Ganon doesn't give you that courtesy teleport. No, I will get this swirly bat out there.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to dodge bats. I think Skipsy also might have gotten a free fairy out of this. Might have skipped it though. I only skipped the first one. I just need 12 spins. Oh, he used the fairy on Trinex, okay. See, that might have been the original fairy, because he never used it before or let it go after Mahula. Get some good triple hits in on here. And there it goes. Major GG's in chat for Skipsy.
Skipsy does indeed finish at an official race time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 7 seconds.
Okay, so overall thoughts about the seed bin?
Boy, I know I'm a bit hung up on that ice rod location, but it's just returning, reinforcing my belief you don't skip Hobo. I know it feels bad to do it, but don't skip it.
Yeah, I will stand by that. I think the best time to do it was after the ice rod cave check, but it's easy to not do it in that case as well. I can understand either option.
Yeah, unless you happen to have mirror and flippers on the way to pod, that's the only time it really feels good to check it. And that's a convergence of events that you want to hope for, but you don't want to plan on. You don't want to expect it.
Just checking to see if we're getting Skipsy in for a quick interview here.
Yep, and as we wait to see whether he's going to join us for an interview, we do have a lot more Link to the Past Randomizer on the schedule for later today. Getting word that he is in the German interview right now.
Yeah, I think as you said, let's see how many are all happening right now. I know we have one over coming up here in a little bit. Actually, we probably have to get out to make room for that one really quickly, so...
Yeah, looks like we've got on this very channel, Goomba versus Saber. Should be starting in about 10 minutes here. And then another hour after that, over on SpeedGaming Prime, we will have Jex Refi versus T-Stew. At 5:10 p.m. Eastern Time today, here on SpeedGaming 3, we'll have Sabatender versus So15. At 6:10 on SpeedGaming 4, Kappa versus is it Furame?
Furame, I think is
Furame?
generally...
Okay.
I think it's French. Don't quote me on that one, though.
I see all these names in writing. I don't remember how to pronounce them.
Right?
And then on SpeedGaming Prime at 7:10, Killer App versus Vortex of Doom. 9:10, Andy versus 1UP on SpeedGaming Prime. 12:10 a.m. tomorrow morning. If you're a night owl, we've got Apathy Duck versus Wall Kicks. Just no end of fun for everybody. And we didn't miss much with that ped check. It was just pocket change. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, good to know. Good to know.
All right, and I am getting word from behind the scenes that we are going to need to go ahead and close things out here, so that we can get prepped up for Goomba versus Saber. Well, it looks like they did start more or less on time, so after stream delay, that'll be starting up in just under 10 minutes here. So stay tuned for that. Freddie, would you like to close us out?
Once again, I'd like to thank you, Ben, for commentating with me, Alloy for doing the wonderful tracking for us today, and everyone for sticking around watching and having fun with this interesting seed we ended up having. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the Link to the Past Randomizer show.
Hey, everyone.
Oh, as we get Skipsy in for wait, quick review, Skipsy. We actually got a cut here in a few because Goomba is starting, or Goomba versus Saber is starting.
That's fine. I'm jumping from interview to interview, so.
Okay, so real quick, what did you think about that ice rod location?
Yeah, it was the worst location for me possibly because I always do that play to skip the hobo. I think I can route it in once I acquire the flippers. When I'm sequence breaking, I don't want to swim up to hobo, then swim downwards again. That's like 1.5 minutes or a full minute. That I'd like to keep it until it's in logic, and that will get me every time. It's fine. Like that's random. Everybody makes their own decisions, and if they work out, you win, and if they don't work out, well, you saw what happened.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you heard Tito's go mode was that ice route as well, so it's not like you were the only one to skip that one.
I know Teto a bit. We're both German players, and we played each other times before for fun. Sometimes, like we do also internal races between German players, and I had a guess on how his play style is, and the things that I skipped, I was confident that he would skip them too. And all of that unraveled until we had to go for pendants, go for TR. I knew that he was the kind of guy that would go to TR first.
Yeah.
I
was that why
wanted
you
to go
sorry.
pot there.
Yeah, was that why you skipped the purple chest initially?
No, when I found the mirror, I knew that the whole mountain was open. So I had to decide to skip purple chest and then save and quit, do the mountain, or I could immediately go up the mountain. And going up the mountain with Titansmiths and mirror is like everything's open there. It's
Yeah,
just the
that's
chances between what could be there and what could happen at purple chest. You gotta weigh this in your mind to route your rando. And I also had other locations left for purple chest, so I could route it in later. That was my reasoning. But in the end, it cost me more time than I wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, it can happen that way. It's rando for you. So I think we are coming up against it here. Do you got one last question for him, Ben?
Nope. Just any final thoughts on the seed, Skipsy?
It wasn't a seed that was made for me, but what I do like is early boots, and everybody loves early boots, and I hope you do too.
Oh yeah, of course.
100%.
Okay,
Well,
with that, oh sorry, one last.
I
thing,
hope
go ahead.
everyone had fun watching the race. I could have forfeited a bit, but I always blend out the race timer to see if everyone that makes me super nervous. So I finished it out. I hope everyone had fun watching that race, even though it seemed a bit one-sided looking at the results. But we'll be back on Wednesday, I think. We were just making some early talks about it on private, and maybe it's Wednesday. Hope everyone's excited and have so much fun with Goomba. Is it Goomba versus?
Yep, Goomba versus Saber is coming up anytime
Goomba
now.
versus
With that,
Saber.
we do have to wrap. So sorry, Skipsy, I don't mean to cut you off, but
It's,
like I
no,
said,
it's fine. It's fine. You're the commentator. You can wrap it up yourself.
okay. Thanks for watching, everyone, and enjoy the run coming up in just a couple minutes. Have a wonderful day.